Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and I do want to talk about Angeal as a whole. This character brings a lot to the table, so I want to get in it, but where I want you to look at Angeal in this way, from my perspective. If you read Reddit or you're looking on Facebook, everybody was expecting a lot from Angeal, and a lot of ideas were tossed out into the ether of the internet. And to me, in my personal opinion, it's like Applibot actually listened and start taking a piece here and there, and we got something really good in Angeal. So let's talk about his limit breaks first, and it'll give you a sense of who this character really is. One thing I'll say about Angeal is the first thing, the very first thing I noticed when I started looking at his kit is Veil. So let's talk about heavy assault. Heavy assault is a basic skill with a little bit more added to it. Like back in the day when we first started this game, everybody had a generic high damage output limit break, and this is an evolution of that. So the lower your HP, the higher the ability potency. I think honestly this is really good for Guild War. Say for instance, if you have this guy and you have another character that has a very powerful summon that maybe Angeal could have used, this is a very good feeling for that space because the lower your HP is, which you will be at in guild battle, this will deal phenomenal damage. I just worry about the charge speed. If it was lower, then that'd have been a lot better. But I think once you level up, it'll be lower. So, Seret Arboros, I'm not pronouncing that right, but anyway, you deal 250% magic, physical, non-elemental damage to all enemies. Also, you decrease P attack, and you also decrease magic attack to all enemies. So this is really good. I don't think you'll be using this as much as the last limit break, but the charge speed is extremely fast, and it's like Tifa level fast. So keep that in mind. That this may be more useful. I actually have to experiment with that because that's a very low charge speed. That's insane. And when we look at Angeal's weapons, you'll understand that him breaking stats is a mainstay. So Ad Astra is where I think the good stuff is. Like this is who Angeal is gonna be for the long run of this game. So Veil is a 20% max HP. It's like a little bar that protects your HP. It's like extra HP, which is really good. This Veil stat is super good, and I'm glad that they have it. But you get to put it on all allies, and you cast a small magic kill. I think Ad Astra actually is going to have more value than people think, especially to tank those big attacks from bosses. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that I personally won't be building Angeal because I'll talk about that in a separate video why I'm not. But this is a good this is a good limit break. It really is. It hurts me to think about not really taking Angeal as far as I would like to go. But if you are interested in building Angeal, I mean there is so much to talk about, but I'm just gonna keep it simple because this guy is extremely good. And the thing about Angeal is there's a lot of aspects of him that are good, and there's a lot of aspects of this character that benefit other characters. So first of all, of course, we'll talk about Tranquility real quick. Spinning Smash, Smashing Splash is a awesome attack that allows you to do provoke, which I have tested this out by using his skill with his free weapon that the mobs will actually attack you once you activate provoke. And you also get Veil, which is absolutely incredible. So he's doing more with this weapon than just attacking. And of course you get boost attack all allies, which is really good. And I talked about his costume in a separate video, so I won't go into that. This is a weapon that I've been using since I got it for free. But when you look at the R abilities, this is where Angeal starts to separate himself from the pack. At first, when you look at this, I said, well, boost P defense, boost physical ability potency. This is something that we're kind of looking for now, as you want to start mixing and matching certain R abilities together. So this is absolutely incredible because now you have a way to get both boost P defense and boost physical ability potency. Because nowadays our weapons are getting so powerful that you have a boost attack and a boost ability potency, but you don't want any more physical attack. So this is really good. So of course you do a high damage attack. 750 is not really that high, but you apply provoke and you give yourself Reagan, which is actually pretty useful. I would consider this weapon mid tier, but the fact that it's free actually makes it better because you actually start out with an OB2 Rapid Blade if you do everything right. So, Greatsword A is something that I am actually surprised about. So, of course, you're actually hitting the 624, but more importantly, you're getting boost attack and boost physical ability and potency. We actually want this ratio because Zack's weapon and Matt's weapon actually gives you more P attack than boost physical ability potency. So if you already have those weapons built, this actually balances out well. So just keep that in mind. This is a very good sub weapon. All his weapons sub abilities are absolutely incredible. So what you're doing with this weapon is you're hitting the opponent and you're dropping their defense to high at OB6 and OB10, but you're doing it to all enemies. So it hits multiple enemies with physical defense down. This absolutely has like a lot of potential, especially in certain battles where you're fighting two monsters instead of one. I think this weapon actually pairs well with Cloud. So if you have Cloud and you have his Bahamut Greatsword build, this is a great follow-up. In fact, it should go first, then he should go second. It's a really good weapon that supplements physical base attack teams. Absolutely incredible. He has another weapon that actually helps in physical base attack teams as well. So Type 91 two-hander, once again, I want to talk about the R abilities real quick. The stats are okay over here, but boosts HP and boosts ability potency. The reason why this is more important now is because nowadays with two weapons, you are able to maximize either magic ability potency or physical ability potency. So you actually want to move into boost ability potency in order to raise your stats. If you look at videos like J-Ro, for instance, or VRT, they actually are able to max out their physical ability potency or their magic ability potency, and they need to move into boost ability potency in order to push their damage higher. So this is absolutely important. Flash Thrust, as you can tell, does diamond sigil damage, which is important. But more on to that is it deals magical damage, and you actually decrease P attack, and you actually decrease magic attack only to mid, but that's fine because this is a diamond sigil breaking weapon. So the fact that it's even doing that is good enough. So it's a very solid weapon. I'm surprised that he gets so many good weapons. Like even Sephiroth has some like weapons that were just absolute dog crap, but this guy doesn't suffer from that. So Shinra Greatsword Model 1, this is the Earth Breach weapon. So of course you get boost P attack and buff debuff extension. Both of these are solid R abilities because like say for Red 13 and Barrett, they actually prefer to have these type of R abilities since they're not like super important DPSs, but they do apply debuffs. So this is actually really good. And it's also really good for his own kit because he is a debuffer. So keep that in mind that a lot of his R abilities roll on top of each other. They really constructed this character extremely well. So you deal 620 physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy, and you get Earth Resist decrease. Of course, at OB6 and OB10, it's high. So this is a way to move Chiron out of the hand of Vincent, and now you can apply this, or you use Sephiroth. So there's two options that you have outside of Chiron. So you can focus on doing DPS with Vincent. So if I ever, I'm going to roll for this weapon, I'll make a video of all the tickets I get from him. I'll roll them. Hopefully this is one of the weapons that I get because it's absolutely handy. So let's talk about this weapon. CC Alloy Greatsword. This weapon is a sign of great things to come. It really is a sign of great things to come because when you look at Thundaga Burst as a whole, that means any character can now, from here on out, get like Firaga Burst or Blizzaga Burst, and they can do 900 generic elemental damage. They won't have the same multipliers as other weapons, but that's fine because in a constructive way, in theory, like if you do guild battle a lot like I do, and you are strained for characters, not every character can have an Arcanum, but if you have a weapon that can actually deal this much damage, it supplements the fact that you don't have an extra character with an Arcanum. Say for instance, I have Cloud with a Lightning Arcanum, but if I had another character that just had a high damage elemental weapon, he could be a secondary DPS, and you have to look at this weapon in that vein. As far as R abilities go, these R abilities benefit him more than it would another character, for instance, because if you manhand this weapon, then he has to pay no penalty on magic attack. He can just focus on building the boost lightning potency. But if you turn it around and turn it into a sub weapon, it's kind of good. But a lot of magic attackers right now that do lightning have really high magic attack stat but low lightning potency. So that may be a problem because, like, say for instance, Tifa, my Tifa would actually benefit from this a little more because her weapon is weak. But if you had a Tifa with an OB10 Kieran glove, then she would not benefit that much from this weapon. The same for Vincent, who actually has a really good lightning weapon. He would prefer to have more lightning boost potency. So keep that in mind that this weapon is better for him than it is for other people. But it's still a good weapon. Stalwart Integrity is when I think about Stalwart Integrity, this is where it comes to mind to me in my mind that Barrett will be reduced in purpose because when you look at Fortress Guard, it's actually doing everything he would need it to do and then some more. The R abilities are absolutely incredible, more so for him than it is for another character because in theory, if you play this properly, you actually want this weapon as your main hand weapon. That might sound strange, but the skills are so powerful that it puts him in a support role. And if you are in that support role, you actually want boost HP and you want boost buff debuff extension because I play Aerith a lot, and when I play her, I always have Kamura Wand in the main hand instead of the secondary hand because the boost HP makes her survive a lot longer. So what this weapon does is it gives you the max defense buff, all allies, but it also gives you max physical attack. So in my mind, Barrett has lost a lot of potential now because I can't see where a situation where you would use assault gun over this for the simple fact is it is 4 ATB, and because it's 4 ATB, it's just as fast as his weapon. And not only is it raising P attack high, it's also raising attack high. And not only that, is the R abilities are simply better. The S abilities, the Material abilities kind of suck because it's all over the place. P attack, magic attack, attack boost, it's all over the place. But it's designed, but in this frame, it is designed based on the fact that the people who design this weapon think that maybe you want to play it physical or magic. That's my opinion on it. But overall, this weapon is absolutely just superior. This is one of the best weapons that he has. We'll talk about the top 3 weapons that he has, but just for your information, this is one of the best weapons in the game. Period. So, Innocent Warrior, this is the generic AOE, you know, weapon that everyone seems to get. First of all, the R abilities are where it's at. This benefits people outside of him. He would rather have more magic attack on this weapon than boost fire potency, but as a sub weapon, this is what you want for other characters. Say, for instance, you want this for Tifa, you want this for Zack, because they're getting more fire potency and less magic attack, because there are more weapons that raise up magic attack than fire potency. And this is probably one of the best sub weapons for Zack. This is something that I would definitely want for Zack, because Zack I already have a OB12 OB10 for Raga sword, so this would be absolutely amazing for Zack. But overall, this is kind of necessary if you really want to kit him out. You pretty much want this weapon because AoE weapons are getting pretty hot. So Gargantuan Monolith, I think I'll talk about this weapon, but I want you to look at this. This guy actually got this. He got 2 of the best R abilities in the game on one freaking weapon. I can't believe they gave this guy this. This is absolutely crack. Just based on R ability, this weapon's incredible. It's a must build simply for this. Simply for this. Because the only weapons that have this are the F2P weapons, and they don't go nearly as high as this weapon. So this is bonkers. The fact that they actually broke they're like something that they've been doing for a long time for this guy is absolutely insane. So of course you do provoke because that's his thing, but you increase magic defense. So at OB6 is high, OB10 is high, and you cast yourself a small heal. This is actually better than it looks. It is niche, but in those niche battles, we're learning that a lot of the Maelstrom Tower battles are niche. Like, you need a certain set of skills in order to beat the opponent. So Mark of Bravery is one of those things that isn't really that great until the right boss comes along, and then you're gonna absolutely need it. So don't overlook Gargantuan Monolith. I think this weapon is gonna come in handy one day, really soon. So last but not least is, I'm not gonna pronounce this, Sequoiadendron. I'm not pronouncing that well. Okay. Anyway, this weapon is actually important for a number of reasons. First of all, it is a generic earth physical damage single target weapon. The only one that has an arcanum with a physical single target earth elemental damage weapon is Yuffie, and she came at a time where a lot of us could not get access to her costume and her weapon because we were saving for the limit break banner that had Sephiroth, Zack, Glenn, and Cloud. So it was a very, very, very missed opportunity. But this weapon is kind of a saving grace, because if you don't get access to that costume and that weapon, and you are required to deal physical earth damage, Earthly Horn is solid. The lower your HP, the higher the ability potency. Don't really like that, but the fact that you actually get access to this weapon, and when you combine it, no, not with Flash Rush, no, not when you combine it with Shinra Greatsword, he actually can breach and do damage. So that makes him an excellent secondary earth attacker. And the fact that he has that potential is pretty incredible. So overall, this kit is really solid. But there are 3 weapons that I think you as a player need to focus on. If you are serious about building this guy's kit, there are 3 weapons that you really need to focus on, and there's two more outlining weapons. The first weapon you definitely need to focus on is Stalwart Integrity. If you OB6 Stalwart Integrity, then you don't really need to invest heavy in this limit break weapon, because this weapon is so unique and separates him as a buffer on par with Aerith. Though he cannot do some of the stuff that Aerith can do, he's still buffing physical defense, and he's still raising magic attack, physical attack high. So Aerith does magic defense and she does physical attack. Though I will admit that magic defense is the preferred stat, but if you're going against Iron Giant, then this is the preferred stat because he only does physical damage. So if you have Stalwart Integrity, then you are starting to build the overall kit of this character. So this is the weapon that you want over all the other weapons that you have here. This is the weapon that you want to focus on. This is one weapon that I'm looking to get, Stalwart Integrity. Then if I can get Stalwart Integrity, then I would really consider myself able to actually play and use this character. So the second weapon you need to look at is this weapon. Why do I say Gargantuan Monolith? It's not so much for Mark or Bravery. It's for the R ability, boost HP, and boost magic defense. With every character that you build, in order to make him last or her last longer, you actually want the sub weapons to benefit other characters. This is one of those weapons that will benefit every character. So when you invest in this weapon, you're not only investing in him, you're not only investing in Angeal Hewley, you're investing in every character on your roster, as this weapon, based on just raw R abilities, will help every character. I use like I still today use like some weapons like the Bahamut gloves, and this is absolutely better than Bahamut gloves. So if you're really going to invest in Angeal for the long term, Gargantuan Monolith is a weapon that you really need to look at. Not because of the ability itself, but the R abilities are just too good. HP and magic defense are some of the best R abilities in the game, hands down. So the third weapon, of course, is going to be CC Alloy Greatsword, because simply put, this allows Angeal to have a elemental damage roll, and it's an easy roll for him to feel, because if you OB10 this, then he's actually getting 62 magic attack and boost lightning potency 26. So very solid weapon, and it's actually doing magic damage. So that's absolutely incredible. This is a DPS weapon. Two of these weapons are support weapons, and CC Alloy is a DPS weapon, but there's two more weapons that you need to consider. Just outliners, that if you can pick these weapons up, they'll help you like develop this character. Of course, it's Greatsword because, simply put, he's actually doing debuffs on the opponent. Not only is he dropping physical defense high, but he's also putting a veil on himself. So he's doing two things. He's actually increasing his survivability, and he's actually debuffing the opponent. And not only that, he does get boost P attack and boost physical ability potency. And these are two R abilities that are absolutely necessary for physical DPSs. So this weapon is an outlining weapon, but it's a really good weapon. And of course, last but not least, it's actually a toss up between Sequoiadendron, because in order to play a character, they need elemental options, and this gives him a solid earth option. It's not the best, but it's just something that you can rely on until you get a better weapon in order to work with. And it's pretty cheap, and it's not a it's not a limited weapon. And also, Shinra Greatsword Model 1, because it's actually a breach weapon. So if you don't have Sephiroth and you need a breacher for Vincent, or you need a breacher for Lucia, this is a really great weapon. My overall thoughts on this character is this is a character that was really done well. When you look at Angeal and the sum of this character, he was really done well. They really edited a lot of mistakes out of this character, And you can see that the devs have gained a deeper understanding of what it takes in order to make a great character. The problem is he came at the wrong time. He dropped right after a limit break anniversary banner. He dropped at the wrong time. So a lot of people who would really love to play this character won't get the opportunity to do so. And me included. Me included. But anyways, if you are going to play Angeal, tell me what are your plans and strategies on doing so. Let me see some videos of what you did with them. I would love to see that. But anyways, have a great day and laters.